baabwe nga bo bafu just because omuntu ayagala ekitiibwa honorable nga tomanya abantu kyebakwagala noyagala kubikakaatikako kakyo tebikola makulu enkyoli litotya nti abantu bokiikirira watta emirambo 10 ate sizoka nti naye ebbali eyo tandisa okufuna evidence bantu bebase ekibi babiri bakafa nga kiri mu tawuni eryeddako waggulu awo olwedde babiri babase so really kati mukola mutya ebintu bwe bityo because mwagala kuwangula bululu kibi nnyo. Movement became difficult because the police and the deployment of the army would not permit so. There was more than unusual deployment of the army and the security forces, which we thought would have made the election a bit safer. But the more they were there, the more violent the election. All our vehicles have been damaged and everything. But to crown it all, irrespective of their massive bulk staffing and all other stuff, ultimately at time of close of counting, we were still ahead and we were destined to win. So by 3, as we were finishing our tallying at home, remember the home is like to the center we used to tally both the presidential vote and the parliamentary candidates' votes. So by the time we finished tallying about 3, we had this massive stampede outside, only to hear bullets being fired, all of unprecedented firing of bullets and firearms with big guns, not ordinary guns. So we were confronted with that. And when that happened, they were trying to open the house where I was and all the DRA forms were, and those for president and myself. And what happened is that they failed to open some doors, but they tried now to pass through the garage, where a lot of people, because of stampede, had gone in and locked themselves inside the garage. So they opened live fire on the garage and in the process killed 10 people by morning time. But because they were so, after killing people, they felt like they could hide the truth, and they tried to clean up of the scene of crime. So they picked all the dead bodies and took them to the mortuary in Gombo Hospital. And even those that were injured, they even attempted a cleanup to try and wash away the blood from the compound as if nothing could happen. They forgot that all the cars that were parked in the compound, there were witnesses who saw them carry, and they did a count. So we counted 10 dead bodies. There were 2 that were hurting, especially the ladies that were crying. But as they lifted them up towards the truck, they put them down and shot them again to ensure they are dead. To explain that this was a massacre, of the 7 people we have buried so far, 5 are women, and they are all from the community. So when they shot people in a garage, and you can count the number of bullets that were fired to the garage, almost speak to the number of dead. So this was a massacre at my home by security agencies, and there was even an attempted cover-up of the action. by trying to retrieve all the dead bodies in the dead of the night. But even in the morning, they feared these bodies to be in Gombe. They took them to Mulago and abandoned them there, where we have been able to pick them and arrange their burial. So I've had the president really speak uncoordinated and fairly uninformed kind of perspective of what happened, trying to say the Wananchi tried to attack with the pangas a police station. One, that happened in a village called Goye, where there isn't any police station in a particular constituency. Foremost, there was a build-up on this. I think, being the position I occupy as a deputy president, chairperson, Bukanda Caucus, and my had learned uncompromising line against the dictatorship here, I was already flagged. It all started during the campaigns. At the beginning of the campaign, there was kind of mobilization to ensure my campaign doesn't kick off. But because of the mass support, because I thought they would mobilize vigilantes, village people to give an impression we were not popular. But that campaign came flat because, one, we were commanding such reasonable support in the population and marched, and we are destined to win. So we crushed them. But still, there were my people who were arrested and charged. But it termed the campaign, and largely we went on until the polling day. But a lot of things were happening. The RDCs were changed twice. The DISO was also changed. The DPC were changed twice and 3 times, I think. On the eve of polling on 10th, we got a new DPC. Was it on 10th or 11th? We got a new DPC. Meanwhile, there was unprecedented use of money in terms of voter bribery. It couldn't even do a count. But on the election day, remember that literally removed every presiding officer whom they thought to be neutral. But on the polling day, they had worked and ensured that our agents as the party, as a candidate, would not access particular polling stations. And an attempt to deploy their agents or reach there were literally stopped by violent groups that were being protected by the police. The night kyekiguddewo era twagenda okuwulira nga amasasi gatandika okuvuga ne bajja ku nyumba nga bakuba open muguleyo oluvannyuma nga balemye okuyita mu front door bagenda ne batandika okuba amasasi mu garage abantu gye baali bekwesa ate era baŋŋambe n'abamu babakubiraawo mu lujja amasasi. So bagenda okukakkana nga bassa abantu 10 era mu byensonyi ne bagezaako okugyawo obujulizi n'obulaga nti bassa abantu era basitula abafu abo ekiro omukomu ne babassa ku mmotoka ne babatwala mu ddwaliro eGombe era n'eGombe tebababanzaawo kaseera ne babaddusa kubanga batidde abantu okukuŋŋaana ne babatwala e Mulago. N'olwekyo ne babasuula egitu bajja abantu bafe omukomu ne tubatwala okubaziika. tebwabadde bululu, tebwabadde kulonda, tebwabadde kuba nti oli awangudde ono bamuwangudde, n'eryabadde ettemu lyennyini eryo eryabatemu abazze waka nga bazze okunzita n'okulemerera okuntukako ne batemula abantu bange era abamaama bangi. Ekwekkaza nti eno exercise yabadde yanjawulo ku bantu betwakaziiko omusanvu, 5 bakyala, ate si bakyala nti bawala abakavubuka abalina abaami, abalina abaana. So bempulira omuntu abisaagiramu kagere president ngaga nti bano bagenda n'ejjambi okulumba poliisi nga tabyogedde, ali maaso g'abannaddiini. Weewunya omusajja oyo, jjajja olimbye ensi eno. Evidence yonna eraga era bw'obeenoobya ku mikutu ojja biraba nga bano abantu babattira mu garaji ewange munda, bwe baakuba amasasi ne batta abantu, ne bagezaako okuggyawo obujulizi nga baddusaawo emirambo, naye omuntu tattika. So Deputy RDC wo n'abakumaddembe oba olina okusooka okukwata abaduumira ne bajja ewaka ne batta abantu. To the nearest police station from where we are is like 3 kilometers away in Gombe TC, and there was no way, and it was at 3, and this happened in my compound, so in my house. Therefore, this was a massacre by security forces led by the Deputy RDC, who was at the scene of crime, commandeering the shooting and the killing of people and the massacre of innocent civilians. Those that have gone to the mortuary are reporting 15 bodies that are being reported from BUTAMBALA. We are also thinking some soldiers were also killed in a crossfire, like 2 of them. All those are unaccounted for. So it cannot come to that extent. That because you want to rig an election, you go out of your way to murder tens of people. It's very unfortunate. The bullet wounds, the bullet spaces can be seen on video. The blood can be seen on video inside the house. So how would one, even if it is a crazy idea, begin to say that that happened at a police station? My home, my garage, was it a police kiosk? So it speaks to a president that is ill informed and uncoordinated in what it is. And I've participated in the burial of 6 people. They're all from the community. They're not even hired agencies. No, we buried so many. I've spoken to their husbands, their children. We can even take you and visit all of them. So that was a massacre by the regime that I think for all intent and purpose wanted to do an assassination on me in particular in the dead of the night, and in the process they killed 10 people. Government, why ebyo tosobola ate president akikonyeko nti kusaa mwenda nali sinneebaka nempulira ebiri eyo kansubire si yawa order nti mugende mutta abantu awo. So bino mbimanyi ebyaliwo okulala ya Museveni mbimanyi nga speaker yeri Senkuuli n'abalala. So bibi naye nga gavumenti yabikoze.